Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Happy May. So today we're going to be talking about the Treaty of Versailles. This is the last lesson that or discussion we'll be having as it relates to World War I. Let's start by taking a look at our objective. Students will be able to evaluate how the Treaty of Versailles ended World War I and started World War II by watching the video clips and evaluating the political cartoons. So the first thing you do is you're going to go to what's called the warm-up, ratifying treaties, and you're going to answer just a couple questions. What are the three branches of the federal government? What are the two houses of the U.S. Congress? What are the roles of the three branches of government? Please feel free to do a search online for this information. I do not recommend using Wikipedia, but there are plenty of good websites and resources out there. You will use these questions to build your knowledge for the main activity, which is the Treaty of Versailles. So let's take a moment and let's just review a few key facts about World War I. World War I occurred between 1914 and 1918. It occurred in Europe. And if you recall, up until 1917, the United States remained neutral. They did not get involved in the war. However, in 1917, Germany resumes unrestricted submarine warfare, and this draws the United States into World War I. Now, we've spoken a lot about foreign policy. Foreign policy has changed as events have occurred. We remained isolationist. We believed in neutrality. However, as a result of world affairs, we oftentimes changed our foreign policy when it came to defending our country and our people. As a result of World War I, over 65 million people had fought in World War I, and more than 8.5 million military members and at least 6.6 million civilians died. The war destroyed farmland, towns, and battlefields around Europe, and, according to many, Germany was to blame. Though modern historians are still split on who should be held responsible for World War I, the treaty blamed and punished Germany. We also need to talk about the League of Nations, which was one of the elements of the Treaty of Versailles. What was the League of Nations? The League of Nations has its origins in the 14-point speech of President Woodrow Wilson, part of a presentation given in January 1918 outlining his ideas for peace after the carnage of World War I. Please feel free to go back in our Google Classroom to where we talked about the 14 points as a review of Woodrow Wilson's attempt to create ways to maintain world peace. Wilson proposed an organization that was charged with resolving conflicts before they exploded into bloodshed and warfare. This organization that he proposed was the League of Nations. Now, for a treaty to be approved, it has to be done so by Congress. Congress is part of the legislative branch that makes laws, and they have to approve a treaty before the United States can agree to it. If we click here, here's a diagram for helping you understand the three branches of government. The legislative branch makes laws, and the legislative branch, also known as Congress, has two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. So, the United States Congress did not approve the treaty, and the United States refused to take part in the League of Nations. Why? Because isolationists in Congress feared it would draw the United States into international affairs unnecessarily. So, here's the deal. If you join this international organization and one of the other members of the organization is attacked, you are required to have that other country's back in a war. So, Congress didn't want the United States to get involved in any more wars, and so they did not approve the Treaty and League of Nations. Here's the Palace of Versailles, still exists today. This is where the three big members and other nations met to discuss the Treaty of Versailles. Now down here, you're going to watch two short videos. This one here is part 1, Treaty of Versailles, and this is part 2. Please watch both videos. Together, they're about 5 minutes long. And then I've also included a short video for you on the League of Nations. Okay, so you're going to have two political cartoons to respond to. Look at all elements of the political cartoon. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I am going to point out certain things that you should look for. First off, what does this word mean? Reparations. Germany was required to give reparations. If you have to, look up this word in Google. What is this right here? This big part of the image. And then look down here. Who's this little guy? What country does he represent? And overall, what is this doing to the little guy? Based on the picture above, why would Germany be upset with the terms of the Treaty of Versailles? It says long answer text. That means you need to write a couple of sentences. The more you write, the better I can understand your thought process. Now, take a look at this picture. It's titled The Gap in the Bridge. You notice here Belgium, France, England, Italy. You see here it says Keystone, USA. Does this stone fit anywhere? Who's this guy? And what does he represent? Of course, look at the sign. This League of Nations bridge was designed by the President of the USA. So the United States proposed the League of Nations, but what was the outcome? Based on the picture above, how did the US respond to the League of Nations? Remember that Senate approval was needed for agreeing to be part of a peace organization or treaty. And then finally, World War I was frequently referred to as the war to end all wars. Do you agree with this statement? Why or why not? Again, long answer text. I'm not asking you to write 2 paragraphs, but I am asking you to write a couple sentences, again, to show me your thought process, and it's a life skill. You're going to need to write in life, and just putting 1 or 2 words will not be sufficient. I know you can all do this. If anybody needs any help, please reach out to me via email, ggershowitz@johndeweyhighschool.org, or send me a message through our Google Classroom, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon.